Hey there, it's Brooke Price, and I am here with you today to talk about the technology accreditation standards, specifically listed in the Distance Education Accreditation Commission. So you might be wondering how in the world I even stumbled upon the Distance Education Accreditation Commission. And let me show you just a little bit about how I actually found this accreditation body. I was doing some internet research and found this publication. This here shows accreditation organizations that are accredited or recognized, by both the Council for Higher Education Accreditation and the U.S. Department of Education. And so if they have a little circle beside of them, they are recognized by both. So if we scroll down here, we can see the Distance Education Accrediting Commission right here, recognized by both bodies. And since it had distance education in the title, I thought that it probably would rely very heavily on technology. So I thought it would have some really great information. So that's how I made this choice. Let me show you the website before we get started. This is what their website looks like. The tab that said Seeking Accreditation. Scroll down to the Accreditation Handbook. And this is a little bit about what that particular page looks like. I went to part 1, introduction. I thought it was just kind of neat, and I wanted to pass the information along to you all. I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit so that I don't make you seasick as I scroll down. You can see that it has 10 pages, and I am just going to take you down to pages 5 and 6, where it talks a little bit about what distance education actually is. So there's that, and we will just zoom back in. So it says here that distance education, it talks a little bit about its history. And it says that technologies can include the internet, 1- and 2-way transmissions, audio conferencing, and even video cassettes, which we probably haven't watched in a while, DVDs, CD-ROMs, things like that. So I thought that was kind of neat. So I'm going to take you back out of this and take you back to the main website where we're going to go to part 3, where the actual accreditation standards are. So we'll click on this, and you can see here in just a second, it brings up a pretty lengthy PDF of the standards. Up there at the top, you can see that there are 31 pages. And I don't know about you, but when I see something like that, I just get overwhelmed at all the reading. So I always appreciate it when there is just a brief overview. So you can see here the 12 accreditation standards from the Distance Education Accreditation Commission, or DEAC, as I will refer to it from this point forward. So let's speak to standard number 1, institutional mission. And it just states that any institution that is DEAC accredited must communicate its purpose and commitment to delivering quality distance educational offerings. Standard number 2 speaks to strategic planning, and it states that at a minimum, the strategic plan not only has to address finances and personnel, but it also needs to address the technology component as well. As you can imagine, standard number 3 spoke the most of technology because it incorporates curriculum and materials. It stated specifically for doctoral degrees that the learning activities need to contain synchronous and also asynchronous online conferencing and the ability to use online chat rooms to communicate with fellow students and faculty members. Curriculum and instructional material need to be appropriately designed and presented specifically for distance education, and online materials need to support the curriculum and make sure that they are readily available using the most reliable and up-to-date technology. Those who are designing curriculum need to be qualified personnel or experts in their subject or field so that they have the most up-to-date resources for the students. Resources are systematically and regularly evaluated so that they meet student needs and support the institution's programs and missions. The institution also assesses student achievement through multiple means of evaluation. So this not only means student presentations and group projects, but also making sure that students participate in discussion boards like we do in this class. For integrity and academic honesty, it mentions in Standard 3 that institutions will meet this requirement by having students use a secure login and a passcode, administering proctored examinations, or another means of secure technology. Standard number 4 states that an institution must use appropriate and readily accessible technology to optimize the interaction between the institution and the learner, and that students and faculty will also receive training and support for the technology that is used. The institution must also publish all available methods that a student can use to submit questions and assignments. Standard number 5 states a DEAC accredited institution must routinely disclose on its website the most reliable, current, and accurate information on its performance, including student achievement. Standard number 6 addresses academic leadership and qualifications of faculty members. It states that there needs to be an appropriate academic leadership capacity and basically the appropriate ratio of instructors to students. It also states that the institution should appoint a director for the doctoral degree programs, and this person should not only have the previous higher education administrative capacity, but also should have knowledge in distance learning and also how to lead a program that is specific for those people who are distance education learners. Faculty and instructors should be screened appropriately and continuously trained not only on institution policies and instructional approaches, but also the most effective use of instructional technology. And the institution should provide a commitment to faculty and staff to further their professional development, and that includes enhancing their skills in developing and using electronically delivered, online, or other forms of distance study. The faculty and instructors who are chosen should not only be trained on institution policies, but also continuously trained on the use of technology in their classes. The institution should also demonstrate a commitment to faculty and staff and help them to enhance their skills using electronically delivered, online, or other forms of distance study. Standard number 7 speaks to how an institution promotes itself. It states that an institution should conform to ethical practices in all of their advertising and promotional items, and it must disclose that all programs are offered via distance education. The institution's websites, testimonials, and endorsements should be truthful, less than 4 years old, and have a signed consent form for each testimonial. And the website should also disclose the program requirements, course descriptions, tuition, etc. The standards for 9 through 12 were very limited in terms of technology, so I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what was included in those standards, as you can see on your screen. In Standard 9, it states that if a program contains a mandatory in-residence training and also a separate distance study portion, that those two programs must be separately stated on an enrollment agreement. Standard 10 talks about an institution's governing body, and those governing board members must be knowledgeable and experienced in many aspects. One of those is including distance learning. There was nothing of relevance in Standard 11 as far as technology was concerned, so we'll move on to Standard 12. Standard 12 speaks specifically of a student's academic record and its protection and all of the safeguards that are used. There need to be protocols for securely sending and receiving files, logging of file transmissions, and electronic notifications. And I've included here the website for the Distance Education Accreditation Commission so that you can check it out yourself. Thanks so much.